People that don't use my cutting boards, they use them, they put them on the coffee table, or they display them in the kitchen, they display them somewhere in the house, and they use them as pieces of art. And I've had people up to 3-4 years come back to my booth and said, I finally cut on it. And I told them, you could have used it the first day you had it, it'd still just be as good. I try and express that into the cutting board, so the more intense it is of a design, the more work and time I've really spent on that piece of work to make it perfect in my mind. So that's just a reflection of my life. I liked everything just to have a little more control over it than I normally would in a regular day-to-day job. I'm Daryl Wasson, and I make cutting boards. Since these are all scrap pieces of wood, there's a lot of flaws in them, and I have to go through and identify in each piece of wood if it's going to work or not. And that's the most time consuming, is going through cutting all these pieces out so that I have a really good piece of wood in the end. If I just mill everything up and not pay any attention to that, that's where boards will crack, warp, or do something unpredictable. And I like to have all my boards 100% predictable. So people, when they walk into my booth at the art market, are just absolutely amazed at how many small pieces are used in my cutting boards and the specific designs that are created randomly, because I don't specifically make these designs. It's whatever pieces of wood I have and the combination of gluing it together, which produce some are really intense and other ones are less, more conservative looking cutting board. But at the same time, I also know what works and does not work in combinations of putting two woods together that are too dark or too light, which gives it a blurred look instead of a definite color assortment. So I'm trying to do a really good color assortment so you see every individual piece of wood in the cutting board. And sometimes I do very detailed ones with smaller pieces, but I have to save those over a period of months in order to do just a couple boards. Yeah, inspiration is just on basically the pieces of wood I have. So the smaller the piece, the more complicated I want it to look. The bigger the piece, the plainer it'll look. So that's why I try and collect as many smaller pieces that I can, thin in other words, and just make really, really intense designs. That's my ultimate goal with these smaller pieces. The feeling after finishing a great board is just amazing. Just to see the design that came out after sanding it. Because before that, you don't truly see the grains in the woods. You don't see the colors of the woods in the true form until you actually sand it all the way down to the final grit and then finally put on the mineral oil and beeswax. That just makes it stand right out. Just bright and really enjoyable to look at. I guess the relationship with my repeat customers they're like friends. They come by, they stop in every time just to say hello. Doesn't mean they're going to buy something every time, but they come in to see what's new and just to see me. It's a great feeling when they do that.